How's everyone doing? Welcome to the final episode of After the After Hours with your boy TraderPrad. The final day of this week. Is tomorrow going to be a free fall Friday? Now get ready for tomorrow. Powell going on the microphone. Powell going on the microphone again. Get ready for tomorrow. So I do have a watch list ready, but if you guys are ready, hit that like and subscribe. Hit that like and subscribe. Thank you guys for all the love. Thank you guys for all the support. Started. Why don't we dive into the full screen and hit that like and subscribe. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, give me a second here. Let me turn down the volume and bring in the screens. Hello, are my buttons not working? Don't do this to me now. Okay, there we go. Buttons are working. How's everyone doing? Welcome back. It is Tuesday. I believe it's Tuesday. Still in the long weekend mentality. For me, for Canadians, we had a nice little long weekend. I got my little Raptors shirt on, even though Raptors are not even in the playoffs, and also not in the playoffs are the Maple Leafs. So yeah, GG Maple Leafs. We already knew about that one. Let's talk about the market. Today you had somewhat of a, first the market gapped lower a little bit, not too big of a gap down or anything, but the market did go down. A little bit of a sideways action throughout the day, and then much later on in the day, the market kind of started taking a hit. You had Google event started to really push the stock to the downside. The event didn't really have too much bad or any bad news, if you ask me, but I'm not an analyst. I'm just a day trader who tries to scalp my way through the markets, right? So according to my analysis, nothing was too bearish on Google's event. Not that I was listening to it, but all the news that I was reading as it was coming out, none of that seemed bearish to me. But still, that impacted the market quite a bit. But beautiful recovery going right back into the close, just to negate that little selling pressure. You also have Moody coming out with more negative sentiment today. Yesterday was the credit rating. I forget what it was today, but more negative sentiment from Moody's, just trying to shake up the market. They're doing everything that they can to bring the market back down so they can buy the dip, basically, that they missed out on. So that's just my speculation over there. But more importantly, Bitcoin is heading to the north side. If you guys are looking at the title of the streams, no matter what platform you're watching me on, the title will say Bitcoin on its way to all-time high. And if you are watching me on YouTube, make sure that you're watching me on the right stream, and the title, it will say either mobile or it will say live. If you're watching me on live, you should currently see only my face. If you're watching me on mobile, you should see a very small face and my chart and everything else on the screen also. So if you're, depending on what platform you're watching me, are you on your mobile phone, then I have a mobile stream ready for you. If you are on a bigger platform like a computer, a laptop, a tablet, and you have a much wider screen to take a look at, then I also have the normal stream up for you. So make sure that you are joining the right stream. For example, I see Barkit is in the right stream, but for everyone else, they are on the mobile stream. So hopefully that's where you want to be. If you want to be there, no problem, but currently that's where you are. You're on the mobile stream. Everyone who is usually on the big stream. Going over to the full screen on the mainstream over here, so we can talk about what happened on the day today for myself and how can we take advantage of possible moves tomorrow. So quickly show you guys all the stocks that we might be interested for tomorrow. First, lots of earnings names coming into play. Barkit asked for and wow, that does not look good at all. Barkit asked for NBIS and PanW. So yeah, for sure we're gonna take a look at PanW without a doubt. NBIS is actually a stock I traded today, so for sure going to be taking a look at that one. So if you have any other names besides those two, feel free to put it in the chat. Anyone else, if you have any stocks that you want me to take a look at, if you want me to take a look at on Twitter, on Twitch. Actually, I don't have the Twitch chat open, so if you message me on Twitch, I will not see your message at all. But if you are watching me on Twitter, if there's any specific stock you want me to take a look at, feel free to throw it in there, and we will dive right into it. Besides that, bunch of other names here from the after hours: Keysight, Toll Brothers, VSAT. You got pre-market names: China, Baidu, Target, TJX, VF Corporation. This should be the previous owners of Supreme. They sold Supreme now to, I believe, a Chinese conglomerate, if I remember correctly, for a loss. I think that's what happened, right? So they sold Supreme for a loss, and now they are only owners of, I want to say, North Face. I don't know any other company that they own. Anyways, VF Corporation reporting tomorrow. Pre-market, VIX, a website making helping tool, reporting tomorrow. Also, we got an EV company. Currently, lots of EV craze going on. You see how good Rivian's moving, how good Lyft is moving. Tomorrow, XPEV reporting. That's a Chinese EV, so that's going to be interesting, obviously, without a doubt. New subscriber here. Hi, everyone. Hi, Robert. How you doing? Welcome. Always love seeing new members. A commercial already. PanW spiked. Well, TH, that's because you're on the mobile stream. I'm pretty sure if you go over to the mainstream, you might not get hit with an advertisement. But tomorrow, pre-market, we got a bunch of names. Even Canada Goose. Very, very interested to see how Canadian company. Well, I don't know if Canada Goose is like 100% Canadian now. They might be more American than Canadian now, but you guys get the point. Lots of good names still on the earnings board. Tomorrow after hours, Snowflake, Zoom. Those are two big names that we're interested in. Sadly, I will not be streaming tomorrow after hours because I have a Blue Jays game to go to. So I will not be live tomorrow, but I'll schedule back on Thursday and then back to regular schedule again starting next week. So missing out with you guys tomorrow, sadly. Oh, that being said, I forgot to add 2 stocks to my watch list. Well, I don't have to add it to my watch list for tomorrow, but we gotta talk about these 2 stocks at the end of the stream. So make sure you guys remind me of you know, I gotta go through these 2 names at the end of the stream. But that's basically our watch list for tomorrow. Now I'm gonna quickly go through a couple stocks that I traded. You guys know, obviously, I trade 1 million stocks on the day, so I kind of cherry picked my my trades on Twitter, and honestly I might do this going forward because a lot of my trades are basically flat trades. Like I get in and I get out for break even, but the main trades are the two best winners and the two best losers. So I figured I figured moving forward, I'll only post two best winners, two best losers. If I have more than two best winners, more than two best losers, then yes, I'll post them too because I want to be transparent. So continuing with that mindset, here is the first best trade of the day for me. Comes through Pony AI. Talked about this a little bit yesterday with you guys. I was expecting the stock to actually gap up on a positive earnings report, maybe move into the north side above 19, above $20, but a little bit back and forth off the open, and then a lot of sideways. During that sideways, this is very much how much were the Blue Jays ticket? It was 20 bucks, dude. The Jays ticket were very cheap, but we got a bunch of us going, so you know, we all got good $20 tickets. We're just gonna go hang out in the general admission area and cool, chill out, you know, chill out. This will be my second ever Blue Jays game I'll be going to, so will be fun for sure. Coming back to the stock, John Vaughn distracting me in the chat over there. Coming back to Pony making a very cool double bottom, you know, kind of. If you zoom out, this is a 1 minute chart. If you zoom out to like a 5 minute chart, this is a very cool double bottom over here. After looking at that nice sweet double bottom, you got the technically I guess not, because this is the right shoulder would need to be a little bit higher, but this right here where you're constantly going into VWAP, but you're rejecting VWAP and pushing back down, but on every single push back down you're creating a higher low. So you have a wedge over here where you could possibly take the breakdown of the wedge for the downside, or the breakout of the upper trend line, or the upper resistance line for the long. Sadly, I was not watching the stock when it broke out, so I was waiting very patiently to see if it would give me a dip to join this long to the north side. You could even call this somewhat of a cup and a handle. So you got the U-shaped cup right here, you got the handle right here. The handle happens to be on a pullback into VWAP, on a pullback into $18, which was also that very same breakout level. So all things combined, you got the breakout level, you got the bouncy ball level, the stock pulls back into that very same level, pulls back into VWAP, and has support right back again over there. Previous resistance now turning into support, and a buy program kicking right back in. So all things combined, it just gave you a very, very easy, very clean long for $2 move up north, where you're not even risking that much, right? You're possibly risking a move back below 18, maybe 1790, 1789 or something like that. My entry was 1811, and then 1830 or something, 1835 if I remember correctly. So based on overall, let's say 35 cents, even though my average was much below 35, you're risking about 35 cents and you're getting a $2 winner out of that position. So awesome scalp. My best trade on the day today so far. Second best trade, NBIS. I thought the news of the stock was a partnership with Bezos or something, but I was a little delayed on that news. If you actually head over to one of our sponsors on the day today, shout out to the Traders Insights. Check them out. The links for them are down below in the description. You get 15% off by using code PRAD15. This was actually an earnings review. Earnings report move, sorry. They reported earnings. A quick little AI generated summary over here says that they surged by 385% year over year on revenue, but still a loss on the books at the end of the day. So the overall sentiment is neutral, and the impact rating is a 5 out of 10 according to the AI. But one thing that really stood out about NBIS is how After the opening flushed back to the downside, stock holds yesterday's VWAP and then pushes right back into the opening range breakout. Now this is way too extended to actually take that opening range breakout, but what's really awesome is it pulls back and it holds that opening range breakout throughout the whole time, which also happens to be the pre-market high. So you can see how, if you go back to my charts right over here, I didn't take the first breakout, waited for the stock to pull back, and basically took the SMB style second chance scalp, as SMB calls it. So taking the previous candle high breakout as the stock pushes back down below 40, but then reclaims 40 and then pushes back up north, giving you an easy scalp up to 41, and then rinse and repeat again, another move back into 40. As long as it holds above 40, it's still a very bullish trade or trend for me, and I can still continue to look for the longs on this name, and that's exactly how it played out. Sadly, a lower high and no momentum to the upside past that on this name, and a move right back down. I'm guessing some of this move up was also when the market was going lower, so NBIS getting hurt quite a bit after not holding 40. So the whole thesis of you know, if it holds 40 it's a long, if it doesn't hold 40 it's a short, was right. You got to play out long on both sides, and then if you were really looking to be active, you could have also got a quick short over there on the day trade side for NBIS. Now for my two worst trades of the day, I believe this one could have actually been a very good trade if you ask me. You know, Bitcoin's kind of going crazy. Bitcoin's, I think TH actually mentioned Bitcoin is pushing 107k over here. Let me zoom out a little bit. So there we go, Bitcoin back into 107k, trying to, it might very well break out or push into all-time high overnight, and we might get a lot of fun activity on IBIT, on BTC. And guess what, I bought IBIT on my long term today, or I shouldn't say long term, on my swing account. So I bought IBIT on my swing account. We are stone's throw away from all-time high on the market itself. That means we are stone's throw away from all-time high on IBIT, which is the ETF. So you know, yeah, you could say, Prad, where were you at 49? Weren't you anti-Bitcoin, anti-MicroStrategy? Yes, I was. I'm not gonna deny it. But what I will also not am is stupid. Well, not, so that's a lot. I am stupid, but I love to make money at the same time. So if markets and opportunities do align for a trade to be taken, then obviously there's no questions asked at that point. Another name that I added to my account today is MSTU, which is basically MicroStrategy Leverage ETF. This is not like a long-term hold. This is more so trying to see if Bitcoin going into the all-time high or higher takes MicroStrategy higher itself, and if that happens, then MSTU should go higher, and I should be able to make a quick buck or two off my swing account. So just a couple ideas over there for you guys if you're interested. Last night I called out Dollar General above 98, above 99, above 100. So if you bought anywhere above those three prices that I mentioned yesterday, you would have been able to capture a pretty good move today already, up 4% and closing at the higher end of the ranges for Dollar General. So it looks like it's just ready to keep going higher, and I'm glad that I bought this stock today on my long term. Why do I keep saying long term? On my swing account. Also added to Robinhood. I think I also added to Uber, but that ended up turning out a pretty negative return on that one, because Uber got beat down with some Tesla news. Elon Musk coming out and saying that robo-taxis will start as soon as next month in Austin. It will be a very limited test run. So, you know, people are thinking that the robo-taxis will originally be run through Uber platform, but it is possible. I think Elon actually talked about this a little bit. It is possible that Tesla has its own platform created where you know, if you buy one of these robo-taxis, or if your car starts to become a robo-taxi in the future, you could be sleeping and sign up your car as a ride hailing service. Is that what you call it? Ride sharing service. So you could turn on that service, and then while you're in the office, while you're at home doing nothing, the car would basically generate revenue for you, and they could just do that within their mobile app themselves. They don't really need Uber to facilitate that, but Uber still has a very good logistics business based around all of that. So I'm not saying that this is a Uber killer or this is a Uber ender, but not necessarily good news for Uber. So we'll see how this one reacts at the moment. It did just break all-time high, and it's still hanging out in that area. So it's not yet time to scream doomsday and close the position. But it does not look good at the moment for Uber, at least on the move that we had intraday. So we gotta watch how the news marinates day over day, month over month, week over week, month over month, and so on, and see if it's time to start trimming the position here, or maybe even just take the profits and revisit the trade again later on if we need to. All the MLB games I bet on got delayed. What the fuck, Adam? All right. If you bet the ones I gave you, that means mine delayed too. Okay. Uber is, the robo-taxi event kind of ruined it for Uber over there. Pulling back to MicroStrategy. The Bitcoin conversation that we were having earlier. Why did I dive into Uber? I don't know why I dived into Uber. How did I get into Uber? Did someone talk about Uber? Anyways, MicroStrategy is what I'm pretty sure was talking about, which was my trade on the day. Trying to look for that move on Bitcoin today. It was trying to push into that area. MicroStrategy also very similar to what NBIS did. It got above today's high, got above yesterday's high also. This was exactly yesterday's high. This was also today's high. It got above the pre-market area also. So all things combined, creating a better range. Looks like a buyer is stepping up and they're buying into the above prices, above 415. So all things combined, everything just looked great for the long, for a bigger move up north into the close, but it just didn't work out for me, and taking a nice little loss on MicroStrategy today on an attempting a long. Last but not least, my biggest loss on the day today, Home Depot. Home Depot looked pretty bullish off the earnings report initially. It popped up, pulled back. It had a buyer in this area. After spotting that buyer, I tried to slip in my order, looking for a move to the north side, almost a move like this, right back into the high of day, but instead it basically stopped me out, and then it made that move into high of day. So that kind of sucked. Later on, it pulled right back into low of day, and it looked like it failed, broke low of day. It had a little buy opportunity at 380. So I said, you know what, I'll give it one more attempt. And if this one doesn't work, I'm walking away from this trade. I don't care about this one anymore if this one doesn't work. And that was the right idea. What I could have done, however, is possibly flip short somewhere over here, because this area, I think 380, 383 was the 200-day moving average. 380 is basically the psychological area. 380 was also previous highs. 381, 380 was the previous highs where the stock basically gapped up from. So not able to hold that area. You could have possibly flipped short somewhere over here, risked $1 or two to make more, and you would have gotten a decent enough risk to reward over here on Home Depot. But yeah, tried a long, got hurt. That one was not fun at all. Ouchies, that one hurt quite a bit. Okay, let's talk about the stocks that we care about tomorrow, or I should say I care about tomorrow. Starting with, maybe we'll put NBIS a little bit lower. We'll put NBIs right next to the quantum names. We'll start with the earnings names, so the names that reported today after hours. This one's actually Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor is funny AF on Twitter. You guys should go follow him if you don't, because his images that he posts sometimes are absolutely funny. Let me also quickly refresh my betting app over here so I can track my my MLB bets. All right, chat. All right, no judgment, no judgment. Okay, I forgot to open Benzinga, so you might see a big blue flash on your screen. That's Benzinga opening up. If you guys are interested in this awesome tool that I love to use in front of you guys every single day for reading earnings reports, but not only for earnings, you have awesome tools such as Benzinga Squawk, you have scanners, you have heat maps, you have Benzinga AI. So go check out the link down below in the description for this amazing tool. I love Benzinga, man. Someone in a Discord, in a public Discord today. Let me see if I can find that. Someone in a public Discord today. Yeah, there you go. Oh yeah, I gotta, maybe not. So someone in the public Discord today was, I called out EFX and TRU was going to the downside, and they go, how the hell do you find these names? You always call out these names that are absolutely getting smoked to the downside. How do you find these names? Well, this is how I find it. I have scanners, and on top of scanners, I have my trusty friend Benzinga Squawk. He lets me know when stocks are moving to the downside, even before I see them on the scanners. So gotta have Benzinga Squawk, or any Squawk service, honestly. Any Squawk service if you're day trading, if you're swing trading, especially if you're trying to be active. If you're trying to be active in the market, you need tools like this. And Benzinga also comes with awesome other capabilities to aid for you in the trading decisions. So starting with PanW for the earnings report, let's go take a look at how they reported. I know they moved lower, so not the right direction that I want to see PanW going, because I want to see CrowdStrike breaking out of the all-time high. That's something I want to be involved in. But because PanW is going down, maybe CrowdStrike is going down. No real move in CrowdStrike after hours, so that's good. CrowdStrike also reports earnings very soon, so hopefully we start making a move towards all-time high before the report, because in that case somebody knows something, or maybe people are taking bets before it even takes out for that break. I ideally wanna be involved in the break, but it might be something that's happening after hours when the stock reports. We'll wait for it when the actual report comes out. For now, we have to go deal with PanW. PanW had a pretty good range over here, and then you have another range down over here, and then right below that, let me actually go to one of these charts instead, because I have all my moving averages and a couple other things. So couple ranges, and then you also have the 200-day moving average right below. This is also one of the strongest sectors out there in the market. So I shouldn't say that semiconductors, no, but right now this sector has been stronger before the semiconductor market was stronger, the cybersecurity market, because Nvidia was still below 200-day moving average when CrowdStrike and a bunch of their other friends like Okta, PanW, and all of them were basically moving back up north. So this was one of the strongest sector while the market was turning back up, and then some of the other sectors were joining suit. So it'll be hard for me to look short if the stock is around this 180 area right into the moving averages. If for me to look short, we gotta be all the way below this moving averages for me to even think about it. But let's go read the report. Maybe the report can help me look for the short side, or actually make me look like a genius to not look short at all. Palo Alto reported 2.29 billion versus 2.28. Ooh, you know what? I want to see if I can make my life a little bit easier by cheating and going over to, no, this is not the scanner that I want to be at. Here, PanW. Okay. Summarize content. So 15% year over year growth. Okay, awesome. Let's go. 15% year over year. Average recurring revenue grew by 34% year over year, and remaining performance obligation rose by 19% year over year. Bullish sentiment, impact rating 8 out of 10. So why the heck did the stock go down? So that didn't really help me at all. I gotta go back into this and read this real quick. Maybe the guidance, because that's very important. Guidance: Palo Alto expects fourth quarter revenue to be in the range of 2.49 to 2.51 versus 2.5. So pretty much in line over there. 87 cents to 89 versus 86. That's above estimate by 1 penny, and you know it's above estimate, so nothing bad over there. Palo Alto also raised full year 2025 guidance. Raised, that's the key terminology. So I guess that 8.8 out of 10 bullish impact, the 8 out of 10 bullish sentiment that they're giving the stock is actually not wrong, because if you're raising guidance, that is a bullish thing overall. So why did the stock sadly push down? I guess, you know, someone just had to take profits, and they might have just sold off a position, and they'll regret it, especially if the stock is reclaiming some of these levels right back up. It's not even anywhere close to 180. So if we're not even pushing into the 180 area, I'm not even thinking about a short on this name. So looking for some sort of a move back up into these ranges for me to look long and be involved right back. Sadly though, we'll be right back into previous ranges where it is a little bit of a turn off, but you know, the report's not bad when you're getting, what was it, 34% year over year, sorry, 15% year over year, but average recurring revenue is 34% up. They're getting more money, not necessarily, but you know, 15% growth is basically getting more money. So all things are looking good. Mainly looking for a long. I am also interested to really quickly check what the PE is for PanW. That is a little expensive, 109, but it's not like Palantir expensive, right? Palantir is like 500 now. So we could get, if we're talking expensive PEs, there's always a stock right around the corner with the bigger PE. Momo's in the chat that I can actually pull up. Momo talking about Tesla going down to $50 a share. Well, Momo, I hope not, because me, my dad, my friends, my grandma, well, I was gonna say my dead dog. My dog's not dead, and I shouldn't even be thinking about that, because I love my dog. But that's a horrible joke. I don't even know what my mind went over there. But everybody I know and their grandma is long Tesla. So for their accounts, I hope Tesla doesn't go to $50 a share. We'll see if it actually ends up going there. If it does, trust me, I'm mortgaging everything I can find. I'm coming to you, I'm mortgaging your house, and then I'm putting that into Tesla, okay? Because Tesla robo taxis, Tesla robots is very, very bullish in the future. Trust me about that, okay? Trust me. Going down the watch list, I might just put no shorts in my report over here tomorrow, but no, we'll have to see how pre-market actually plays out. How does pre-market play out on that name? Toll Brothers, another one that reported today, and a decent move to the north side. A nice little consolidation below last week's high over here. Very light on volume, but a good move at the end of the day nevertheless. Still below the 200-day moving average, and last week's high, I'm guessing, is right there, right? The 110 area. 110 area, yeah. So basically, you're playing under over last week high. So if the stock is able to get above last week's high, potentially there's a little bit of a better move to the upside. You could look for maybe a pre-market high breakout or an opening range breakout if that setup is available for some sort of a move up north. But if the stock is not even getting above this 110.50, 111, then is it even a long tomorrow, right? So you want to be careful battling the long on this name if we're not above that little I'm gonna give it a 50-cent range. The stock's ATR is $3.35. Its ADR, which is average daily range, is 2.5. That's kind of lame if you ask me. I think it's in the same territory as Home Depot. It's an average daily range of 1.75, so not too exciting on the daily range at all. But as a day trade, you know, if it gets above last week's high on a bullish catalyst like its earnings report, I didn't even read its earnings report, but if the report is good enough, you know, it should be good enough to stay above 111. And if it's not above 111, then it's not good enough, and I'm not interested on a trade at all. So it's that simple on TOL. Sometimes you don't even need to read the report because you're day trading it, right? You just care about how it sets up on the intraday. Here's a stock that I might have to read the report because I am interested for this name on the swing trade also. Keys Open Doors. Well, ADR is kind of lame, and this stock has just been trading sideways since 2021, so maybe not as exciting to trade Keys on the swing account, but on the day trade account at least I'm a little excited, mainly because the stock is very similar to the stock we just took a look at, which is Toll Brothers. Very similar to Toll Brothers in the way it moved. There is a setup called the money trade from S&B Capital Boys, where you look for the stock to get above the after hour range tomorrow in pre-market and create a range in the pre-market, and then you take the pre-market high breakout for the long. So if Keys sets up for that, for sure watching this name. Quickly go check out how they reported. So let me head over to my good friends over at Trade Insight and ticker Keys. Keys, summarize that content for me. Short mRNA. I don't think I care for a trade on mRNA really. QT performance per share exceeded guidance, raised full year growth based on disciplined execution and a healthy opportunity funnel. Imagine if I had disciplined execution. Oh my god, I would have such a healthy opportunity funnel also. Impact rating 8 out of 10. Bullish sentiment for that report. Sadly, they didn't tell me anything else in that AI summary, so I might have to go read that myself later on. Overall, you know, that is all we care about. Is it above some of these important levels from last week? It obviously was. You just saw it on the 5-minute chart here. It was clearly above the last week's high. We're almost into 170, 180 areas. So any move above it or any pullback and hold above this area, interested on the long on Keys without a doubt. So we got so many names already coming into play for tomorrow, and we are not even going into the names that are hot at the moment, like the quantum names or some of the other hot movers that have been going around, like cryptocurrencies, Palantir. Well, Palantir is not really hot, but Hood, Uber, and so on. Pony, for example, NBIS, for example. There's so much moving at the moment, and it's just such a great time to be a swing trader and a day trader. So if you're enjoying what you're seeing, if you like what you see, hit that like, hit the subscribe, and tune in Monday to Thursday, 8 p.m. Monday to Thursday, 8 p.m. VSAT. I thought VSAT was a completely different name. I don't think I care about this name anymore. Maybe I got it confused with what is it? VST? Yes, I got confused with VST. It's a completely different name, so we don't really want to even take a look at that one on the board. Deleted that one, and that means that's the end of the stocks that we have for earnings reports today. Today after hours at least. Tomorrow pre-market we have a good basket of stocks, starting with Baidu. So let's go to the daily chart. Baidu has such a solid base on the daily that I don't think it's ever gonna break that lows. This is basically what you call it, the Google of China. I think is how people explained it to me. So watching this one for sure. The biggest Chinese name for Americans, at least, Baba. That one has taken a little bit of a hit off of its earnings report. So we'll be interested to see how Baidu sets up off of its report, and if any trade opportunity come into play. One thing I don't like about Baidu at all is its liquidity. Very, very illiquid. So I'm not as excited to trade Baidu as I usually am to trade Baba, and recently my performance on Baba has been atrocious, so it's even more of a reason for me to be not excited to trade Baidu, honestly. So I might be just turned off on this name completely unless it gives you a very clean trade. You know, you got to get above 92 and stay above 92 for me to even think about some sort of a long. What is that day right there? You see, right above 92 we got up and then right back down. So very choppy range. Again, choppy. It's just such a turn off on Baidu when it comes to a trade opportunity. Oh my god, Target just can't catch a break. Target did look good for a little while, but then immediately right back to the downside. One earnings report after another, just pushing lower and lower and lower. And now look at it, the 200-day moving average is on a big downward slope. So not good at all for Target. Where is it? We're moving into the 200 moving average on the monthly chart on this name. That is insane. So big reversal on Target, which was once a loved, should I say superstore? Is it, or maybe I'll just say retail store. Once a loved superstore, now absolutely destroyed. I'll be surprised to see if Target eventually gets acquired by somebody else. Now that would be interesting. End of the day, they're reporting tomorrow pre-market. I don't really see any reason to look long on this name, but you know, there's for a day trade, if it does get above 100, a very psychological price point, then there is a trade over there to potentially look long. But if there is no reason to look long tomorrow, meaning the stock is below 100 after its report, I'm just more and more interested to see how low can the stock go for the short side. What is the PE on this name now? What is Target's PE today? Target's PE is now 11. So that's interesting. Very interesting PE on Target. Wow. Earnings report pre-market. Another one, TJ Maxx, TJX. Pretty sure TJX is TJ Maxx. Am I correct by saying that, chat? Hopefully I am. And wow, what is this? The next ANF? WTF? Oh my goodness. TJ Maxx, TJX is absolutely insane. No show Monday. It's a holiday in the US. Yes, next Monday, no show. That's correct. Wow, keys up like a rocket ship in the after hours. It is, sir. It is. But TJ Maxx is at all-time highs even before its earnings report. That's very interesting. So we'll see how this one moves tomorrow. Pre-market, pretty sure it's at all-time highs. Yes, it is at all-time highs. So we'll see how this one moves tomorrow. Another one, I mentioned this one earlier. They own North Face. They sold out of their Supreme holdings and still not recovering. They were recovering a little bit, but now right back to the downside. So not looking good at all for VF Corporation, still under their 200-day moving average. Canada Goose, this was a name I used to trade a lot back in the day, man, but the stock is now dead. Absolutely dead. No volume, no stock price that I recognize at all. I mean, these were the prices I used to trade the stock at. Now it's at $8. Absolutely sad. You know, it's a dead name now, dead name, but if it does bring in some volume, we'll take a look at it. XPEP, obviously important because recently a lot of these EV names have been going crazy. Rivian, well, LYFT is not really EV, but you know, EV names in general have been going crazy. Pony, not really EV, but it is kind of EV. all EV Uber in a way. It's kind of Waymo basically. So ponies, all these stocks have been going nuts. So if XPEV kind of joins that party, you don't want to miss out. That's basically the last name in the pre-market basket that I'll be looking out for. Now, some of the stocks that are recently reported or reported today pre-market in the for today. Pony, this one I added to my swing account, but the move over here after breaking out and then pushing back is not a good move at all. That is not the best thing you want to see. Hopefully we do pop up tomorrow, because if we don't, I am very ready to dump out of this position and take that quick little loss on Pony. I don't want to hold it all the way back through 15. You know, I want to see the stock going higher and higher, especially after its earnings report today. So not sure how I'm going to be handling this one on swing account. For the day trade, it's very easy. You know, if it's above 15, any dips into 15, look long. If it's starting to get above 20 again, look long. Look for simple 5-minute patterns. You saw how there's a very simple 5-minute pattern that I took advantage of today on Pony, which is that little cup and handle breakout long. Just taking the hold of VWAP and the retest of VWAP long. So just look for your traditional patterns. You also had the bouncy ball long over here. You could also call this the fashionably late scalp long with the 9 EMA crossing VWAP. There's so many setups over here that you could have used to get long on this name, and that's the beauty of you know, day trading. Just look for your 5-minute patterns, your traditional 5-minute patterns, and be patient. But for your swing account, that's where you got to start thinking a little bit right now. AS did exactly what I wanted it to do, but had no momentum all day for the upside. So we'll be watching this name tomorrow, but I'm not sure what I really want to be doing with this name. All I can say is I'll be watching it without a doubt. NBIS moved up today on the earnings report. Very bullish chart over here, above the 200-day moving average. Recently had partnership news with Bezos expenditures or expeditions or something. I forget what the name was. I'm probably butchering it right now. But the NBIS, you know, one good news after another, reclaiming the 200-day moving average, which was on a downside slope. So once we start, you know, creating some sort of a momentum here and going back up to the north side, everything just looks good. But if we just hang out over here and push back down, that's kind of worrisome for the long. So you want to be careful how you play with your position over here. If you're looking for a swing for a day trade, the same idea as today. If it stays above 40, then I think looking for a long on this name is still viable. But if it's not getting above 40 today, also if it's not getting above 40 tomorrow, also the same way it was struggling today, then you want to be very careful with trying to look for a long on this name. Okay, so look out for NBIS tomorrow. Quantum names, these stocks are going absolutely nuts. QBTS gapping up overnight. QUBT potentially giving you a little bit of a breakout above $12-13 area. It was $12.80, so let's say 13. This day's high is $12.96. Today's high $12.84. So if BTS and the rest of the gang is still trying to go higher, QUBT might be one to keep an eye out for. I actually bought IonQ on my swing account today. Interested to see if IonQ could have a move higher. You can see how for the last few days in a row, IonQ could not get above this 35.50. Today it gets above 35.50. It actually gaps above 35.50, but then on the pullback, it manages to trade around that area. So expecting, if quantum names are having some sort of a second wind, you know, some sort of a bigger move up north, then I might want to be interested in one of the more legitimate names. You know, QUBT, QBTS are not as legitimate as IonQ, if you ask me. So you know, if I want to be interested in a swing account, I want to be interested in a more legitimate name. But for a quick little buck, QUBT for a day trade or a swing trade is not to be discounted at all, because that breakout at 13 and any momentum above 13 is for sure worth to keep an eye on, especially how the stock is now holding the midpoint of this big volume candle and this big range candle. That means buyers are stepping up. You got buyers holding higher and higher and higher, and if we do get that bigger high tight flag coming into play, a breakout of QUBT 13 could easily give you a monster return that you were never expecting out of this name. Was this the name that previously went to like $80, or was that QBTS? Which one of these stocks went to like $180? QMCO? QMCO. What a memory. ARQQ also catching some traction. So the sector is obviously heating up. So if the sector is heating up, I want to park my money in not the dumbest names, but the dumbest names, or potentially where the easiest and the quickest bucks are usually. But once again, that's not where I want to be parking my money, because those dumbest names sometimes also take your money as quick as they give you. So you want to be very careful with those ones. Watching all the quantum names without a doubt. RGTI, how could I forget that one? RGTI is another big quantum name. Take Two announced offering today at the end of the market, or the close of the market, sorry, that pushed the stock a little bit lower. That's potentially worth keeping an eye on anytime a stock does an offering. So that one's on the watch list because of that, but not as high priority as potentially MicroStrategy or even IBIT. With Bitcoin moving higher at the moment, I will not be surprised if we see Bitcoin into all-time high tomorrow, honestly. So if Bitcoin does manage to push back into all-time highs, which is what is it, 109, 110, yeah, 109, 110. If we do get there overnight and during sleep, or even in pre-market or something, China market maybe wakes up and pushes it there, will be very, very fun to see if IBIT sets up for a trade. Because if IBIT pushes into all-time high, which is currently at 61.75, so IBIT pushing into all-time high will not only make me happy as a swing trader, but I will also be taking advantage of that on the day trade. So marking IBIT as a special color, marking MicroStrategy in a special color. Tesla, you had Elon on CNBC today talking quite a bit about robo-taxis and a bunch of other stuff. That caused Tesla to move back and forth a little bit. That caused Uber to move back and forth too. So obviously watching Tesla. I also bought TSLL on my swing account today. I was clearly very active on the swing account today, buying a bunch of names. So watching Tesla to see if this one will catch some traction back up for some round 2 fight. But right now it just looks like the market is slowing down, right? Market's cooling off. It's not flushing off hard, no matter what Moody is trying to do to shake up things and to shake up the market. He's not able, or she's not able, whoever the analyst is that's posting all of these reports trying to move the market down, they are trying their best, but they are simply failing. I'm also seeing a lot of craziness about how most of these buying action, you can see how the buying is not on elevated volume, right? Most of this buying is actually just retail buying. So retail is kind of front running hedge funds and front running big money, which is insane. But if you there was also a very interesting question today asked in one of my mentors' Discord, Ariel's Discord over there. They were talking about, someone asked the question, if retail is buying before hedge, who is selling to retail? That's a pretty damn good question. You got to be able to ask yourselves questions like that and even be able to think about the answer. Now, am I smart enough to even think about the answer? I don't know. I sat there for like 10, 20, 30 minutes trying to think about, if the retail's buying and the hedge funds aren't, then who's really selling to the retail so they can buy? Market makers, You know, some short sellers are just kind of getting blown out by retail buying. So you just have retail versus retail fighting each other. At the end of the day, if all things are working out the way it is, right? If retail is situated better, faster, quicker than actual smart money, as they put it, once the smart money has to you know, take part or play their hand in the market, how much higher are we actually going to go? This market is already, what, 3% away from all-time highs? We were not that long ago 25% down on the market, screaming recession, and now we are recovering about 29% of it. Wait, how does that even make sense? We are now recovering a pretty good percent of this loss, and we are only, you know, stone's throw away from all-time highs. So if you're telling me hedge funds haven't bought the market yet, and they are slower than retail, if the market starts to go towards all-time high and hedge funds actually need to start deploying some of their capital, otherwise they will be very, very, very late. That's gonna take this market into insane territory. So, you know, I'm just so ready for what could be one of the best bull markets that we are about to see on this market. It's going to be fun. That's why you gotta you know, get excited. If you are not excited, you're gonna miss out on a lot of the fun at the moment. There's so many good charts and not enough money to deploy, not enough capital to deploy on the market. I mean, Robinhood is such a beautiful chart at the moment. My goodness, looks like, you know, especially with Bitcoin going higher, Robinhood will probably just keep on climbing. You got Coinbase, you got IBIT. Coinbase recently got added to the S&P 500. You have Nvidia, SMCI. These are the AI names. Palantir, another AI name. CrowdStrike, this is your cybersecurity name. You got SE, which is you know, I'd say you're a little late to SE, but a gaming name, a mobile gaming name. There's just so many setups at the moment, chat. It's just insane. The opportunities are insane. Okay, my bets are live. Awesome. Quickly before I end the stream over here, let me quickly talk to you guys about the IPOs
through super chat. Appreciate you.
Ooh, we got a $10 super chat. Thank you, Lily's grandma. Appreciate that very much. I appreciate you, Lily. Wow, that was the first time we got a super chat that big and in a long time. Usually it's $1 or $2, but the $10 super chat. Wow, Lily, thank you. You're the best. Where did my there we go. My Twitter chat closed. Actually, no one's even messaging me on Twitter. I'll just close that real quick. Thank you for the $10 super chat. Before we close the stream for the night, or I should say until Thursday, because I'm not streaming tomorrow once again, quickly talk about the two IPOs that are on Thursday. It is Hinge Health Inc. and MNTN. So we'll do the research about those two stocks really quick. Before that, I wanted to go take a look at what is on board for econ calendar tomorrow, and looks like once again a very boring, very dead economic calendar for Wednesday. You have FOMC member at 12:15, and you have a 20-year bond auction. The 20-year bond auction might actually move the market a little bit, so you might want to be careful when you are positioned into the 1 o'clock time, Eastern time, that is. But besides that, nothing really too important on the economic calendar for us to be looking out for on the econ side. For the IPO side, we do have two names that I'm gonna quickly take some research time about. For what is it, HNGE? Yes. Oh, and the other one was MNTN. Yeah. Okay. What does this company do? Software leverages software, including AI, to largely automate care for joint and muscle health, delivering an outstanding member experience, improved member outcomes, and cost reductions for our clients. Okay. We have designed our platform to address a broad spectrum of MSK, musculoskeletal system care, form of acute injury to chronic pain to most surgical rehabilitation. Members receive personalized. My mind is stuck on this AI. It's like, okay, what exactly are you doing with the AI? Sometimes these companies are kind of BS and they're just putting AI in their things, but sometimes they're actually legitimate. You know, if you're incorporating AI into health, that is one of the biggest sectors at the moment in the coming world and the use of AI. So it's actually good to see health companies do this, but I'm always skeptical about how much of it is actually being possible from these guys. You know, is it just like, oh, we'll take your report, we'll put it in ChatGPT, and oh, we're using AI? Like, okay, I could have done that myself, so it's not that special. But if they actually have something proprietary, something legitimate, and something beautiful, then that makes it even more special, right? Even more special. But an AI based healthcare company, let's go see if they're growing year over year, and the answer is yes. From 2023 to 2024, you got a 33% growth year over year. Not bad at all. Let's go check some quick little statistics about these guys. They are a $2.42 billion company. Not bad, not a small company. They're also not an extremely big company either. They're offering 13.666 million shares to the market. Outstanding shares is what again? Outstanding shares is 80 million shares. No PE, so not profitable, but they are growing year over year, which is a good thing to see overall. I guess that's basically it. You know, for a day trade, I'm not gonna be looking for this name as an investment or a swing trade or anything. But that being said, you know, another big health tech AI name that Pelosi was previously suspected to be invested in, and that name took off. So you see how healthcare AI names are kind of important at the moment. So maybe HNGE is in that basket of stocks where you know, it has AI, so it just kind of takes off. That happened with CoreWeave, right? CoreWeave was one of the latest AI IPOs, and within what, 50 days the stock went from $40 to $100 almost. Is it 50 days? How many days has it been since it IPO'd? So yeah, within 53 days it went from $40 to $100. Insane move there on CoreWeave. People just did not want to miss the boat on that one at all. MNTN, what do you guys do? Mission transform connected TV into is on a mission to transform connected TV to next generation performance marketing channel. What? Our revolutionary performance TV PTV software platform allows marketeers to combine the powerful storytelling format of TV advertising with targeting, measurement, and attribution capabilities of paid search and social advertising. Our self-serve software platform enables marketeers to precisely target audiences through our MNTN match technology and then directly this sounds like a load of BS, dude. What is this? What the heck? Company founded in 2009, advertising agency, 502 employees, CEO Mark Douglas. All right, Mark, let's see what your company's all about. $1.16 billion company, no PE at the moment, offering 11.7 million shares to the market. Outstanding shares overall, where is that one? Overall outstanding shares, am I blind? Where is it usually? Right here, 7.77 million shares in total, $175 million trade, so not really the biggest, but you are growing year over year. You're growing 30% also year over year, so both of these companies are growing. Both of these companies are not profitable. They're both small cap to mid cap, well, I should say mid cap to to borderline cutoff small cap ranges. So we'll be interested to watch. One of them is a little bit more legitimate company than the other one, if you ask me. But when it comes to the trading opportunities, you know, it just comes to, are there buyers on the bid? Are there sellers on the offers? Is there a trade setup that we can take advantage of? A traditional 5-minute pattern, just basic setups. Thankfully, this is not tomorrow. This is Thursday. So make sure you put it on your watch list for Thursdays, because tomorrow I will not be able to remind you about that. And that is basically all she wrote for tonight's stream. Once again, Lily, thank you for the super chat. Marjorie Taylor Greene is also an insider recently in AMLP. I keep hearing her name quite a bit. Is that the new Pelosi? Is Marjorie Taylor Greene the new Pelosi? I keep hearing her name a lot. If so, then yeah, I'm gonna have to start tracking her and see what she starts positioning herself in. She is, says TH. Okay. Also, since you spent most of your day on the vertical stream today, is there anything that I could improve on the vertical stream? Maybe you could tell me. I know Pelosi's finished because you know, it's no longer, what's it called? I could, I guess, do this and put a bigger screen on chart. I don't know. All right, that's what you guys get. The vertical, guys, that's all you get. All right, if you ever want a better stream, you know where to go. You can come watch me on Twitter. You can come watch me on YouTube directly on a bigger screen and not watch me on a mobile screen. But for some reason, the mobile stream gets more views than the other one. When the game works that way, you gotta play the game. You gotta play the game. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's all she wrote for today. Time to roll out the outro. I will catch you guys Thursday. Have a great day tomorrow on the market. Good luck. Stay disciplined. Stick to your rules. Stick to your game plans. Don't make up trades out of thin air. I'm talking to myself when I'm saying all this out loud usually, but don't make up trades out of thin air. Stick to your game plan. Stick to your rules and slam that market. See you Thursday for the final day of the stream. Final stream of the week. I'll catch you guys Thursday. TraderPrad out. Peace.
The watch list for tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm gonna bring in my big screen over here. Back to another brand new week of After the After Hours with your host TraderPrad. I'm doing great. Hopefully you guys are joining me on that great side. Markets are moving around. Might just be a risk on type of day. So let's see what happens. 8 o'clock tomorrow. As you guys know, we do the stream Monday to Thursday, 8 p.m. Shout out to my affiliate sponsors, Benzinga, Trade Ideas, the #1 scanner to go to, Trader Sync,
You guys can still see me on the vertical. I gotta go face to back on the vertical. I'm not used to this yet.
I will catch you guys tomorrow, 8 o'clock, same time, same place. Until then, TraderPrad out. Adios.